From the very beginning, control quietly shifts without anyone saying it out loud. The father's absence doesn't just remove a voice, it removes resistance. That instantly simplifies the courtroom dynamic into a one-sided evaluation. The system steps in fully structured, while the mother's side feels reactive. That contrast matters. Courts don't just listen to facts, they read stability through behavior.
Representing the department, also present in the virtual courtroom, is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Veronica Ramirez and Supervisor Destiny Swartz.
Savannah Kincaid, I'm here with Miss Maldonado. She's under the name Jennifer Tucker, but we're both present and ready.
Jim Shaw representing the father.
Bailey
Stacey Grant, attorney ad litem. Sorry, Bailey.
No, you're good. Bailey Sapien, ad litem for the mother.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and change the name on Mom's device just so there's no confusion. And then, Mr. Shaw, your client is not in my waiting room. Are you expecting him?
No, Your Honor, I don't believe we've found him yet.
Okay. All right. Okay, then let's see who's going to give us an update this morning or this afternoon.
I will, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ramirez, if you will, please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give today will be the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. All right, then I'm going to let you go ahead and just kind of give us your update, and then we'll see who has questions.
Yes, ma'am. I'll go ahead and start off with Eduardo Lopez. He's doing good in placement, 9th grade, 15 years old. He was participating in track. Now he's done with that. Now he's in baseball. He's very excited about that. It's the travel team. He does very well in school, passing with A's. He was having therapeutic visits with mom on the dates of 12/29 to 12/3/28. He has voiced that he does not want to continue those visits with mom. He feels safe and has great support from current placement. He does individual therapy with Richard Gatlin. He has another session scheduled for next week. Sleeping good, healthy appetite, no concerns. Overall, he's healthy. Current on medical and dental. He will be getting Invisalign. Overall, he's doing well.
And has he been talking actively with his counselor about his desires not to continue the visits?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Then what about mom's progress?
Ms. Maldonado has maintained contact with me through her IDD coordinator, Jennifer Tucker. She has completed therapy. However, each month that I've seen her, she reports that she has meltdowns, stressed out. So I did send a new referral for individual therapy. She has started that. I spoke to a therapist. He reports that she's engaging and is doing well. And it helps that, he knows her from therapy that she had completed previously. I was able to see the home this month, verify utilities. She's refrained from criminal activity. She's completed women's group. She sees her psychiatrist regularly. No issues have been reported. She's completed parenting, 8 hours. Overall, she's done everything, and she's just doing individual right now.
Okay, drug tests have remained negative the last several months?
Yes, yes, her drug tests are negative.
All right, and I read in the report there was a concern that she and her boyfriend were still in a relationship, and is that accurate?
She reports that she is no longer in a relationship with the previous abuser. She reports that he's living somewhere in Irving. When I went to the home, I didn't see anything that indicate that he was living there. But I do know that is one of the concerns that Eduardo has, is that mom is not being truthful as far as the boyfriend still living in the home.
So it's a trust issue.
Yes, and I mean, Eduardo wants to stay where he's at. He feels that they're a great support system and he can get a lot done as far as his schooling and his activities. And he just does not want to continue those therapeutic visits with mom. But we are working through that in therapy.
All right. Ms. Ramirez, let me just ask your opinion about this. I mean, do you feel like there is anything for St. Francis or the department to continue to do in this case, or have we done essentially what we can do, and now it's just a question of you know, freeing the child and letting them continue to try to work on their relationship? Or I mean, where are we at, you think? Because our final is set for July 6th.
Yes, ma'am. In my opinion, I think St. Francis has done everything we can. It seems like Eduardo has made up his mind. He continues to voice that he just does not want to move forward as far as a relationship with his mom. We continue to talk about it each month about, therapy and trying to establish a relationship with mom. However,
the real fracture shows up. Trust. Not proof, not evidence, but belief. Eduardo doesn't trust his mother, and that matters more than anything the department can verify. Even if the boyfriend is gone, even if the home checks out, none of that fixes perception.
He just does not want to pursue it. I don't know what more we can do, as going forward, because at the same time, we do want to respect his wishes and wants as well.
He's with family.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And they're willing to take PMC, be a forever home for him.
All right. Ms. Kincaid, do you have any questions for Ms. Ramirez?
Yes. So is there anything remaining for Ms. Maldonado to complete?
No, I mean, she's done everything. I just referred her for the therapy just because mentally there's concerns. I mean, she reports that she's stressed out. She misses her mom. She's going through a lot as far as medically. So I just thought the therapy would help her. She agreed to it. To have someone to vent to talk to help her through those emotions and everything that she is going through.
Okay. So far as the reasons of removal, has she mitigated the reasons for the initial removal?
Yes.
Okay. Would there be a continuing danger for Eduardo to return to the home?
I think.
Would there be a danger for Eduardo to move back with Miss Maldonado?
I don't think there's a danger, but I don't think there are concerns as far as her being able to meet his well-being needs, due to, no reliable transportation. I mean, mentally, she's not there. And I say that respectfully,
Okay, but what I'm asking is that the department removed the child due to potential domestic violence in the home. You saw no evidence that the individual that was engaged with that domestic violence is living in that home. Is that correct?
Correct.
And Miss Maldonado reports to you that he does not live in the home.
Correct.
And she's completed all the services the department has asked of her.
Correct.
And in the last I believe in the last hearing, the court ordered that we begin therapeutic sessions. I understand that Eduardo is reluctant. Is the therapist willing to continue to facilitate those, his current therapist willing to continue to facilitate those sessions?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And
When is
he's
the last time they had a therapeutic visitation?
last month.
Okay. And how many therapeutic visitations have they had?
I believe 3.
Okay. And do you know the dates of those therapeutic visitations?
Yes, I do. They are 12/29, 2/12, and 3/28.
Okay. So if they're trying to reestablish their relationship, do you think it would be helpful to have those visitations more than once a month?
I do. I do believe that it would be helpful. However, at the same time, I do think it's, we do got to respect Eduardo's wishes and his wants as much as mom's. I think we should value Eduardo's opinion and what he wants long term, for his well-being and his mental state.
I'll pass witness.
All right, Mr. Shaw, any questions?
Ms. Ramirez, I understand that we can't have the child dictating the placement, but is he to the point where there's a fear that he may run if he's forced to go back with the mother?
Possibly.
And do you believe that would be in his best interest
Yes.
for him to run?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, that would not be in his best interest. I'm sorry.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Grant. Or excuse me, Miss Sapien. I'm so sorry. Did you have any questions or anything?
I don't have any questions, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, Ms. Grant?
This is where control becomes the central conflict. How much power does a 15-year-old really have? Legally, he shouldn't dictate placement. Practically, he already is. The moment the risk of him running away is mentioned, the entire tone shifts.
Thank you, Judge. Ma'am, after Eduardo expressed that he no longer wanted to visit with his mother, what actions did you take to assist him in dealing with those feelings?
I spoke with him about it, tried to understand his perspective. Just kind of had a heart to heart. I did ask him to make sure that speak to his therapist about it. Let's get it addressed to try to help him with those emotions. And at the same time,
did you do any follow? I apologize. I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you do any follow-up with the therapist after you suggested he speak with the therapist?
Yes.
And did the therapist give you any information that eased your concerns regarding the decision?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to hearsay.
Yeah, and don't tell me what she said. I just want to know if she gave you any information that made you feel better about his decision.
Okay, so I'll sustain her objection. You can answer what she's asked you now.
Yes, the therapist, yes.
And that's fine. That's all I needed was to know you followed up.
Yes.
Do you believe that Eduardo would be willing to participate in therapeutic visits with his mother?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, let me come back. Ms. McCluskey, do you have any questions?
Just briefly for clarification, who is Eduardo seeing now for individual counseling?
Richard Gatlin.
Okay, and is Mr. Gatlin also who facilitates the therapeutic sessions between Eduardo and his mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And has he made any written recommendations regarding whether or not those should be forced if Eduardo does not want to participate?
He hasn't necessarily wrote any recommendations regarding that, other than he needs to continue individual therapy.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anybody have any further questions for Ms. Ramirez?
Just briefly, Your Honor, sorry, I turned my video off. I don't know if it's the wind or what, but I'm cutting out a little bit.
Okay,
If Mr. Gatlin is unwilling or unable for any reason to facilitate any kind of visitations with Miss Maldonado, could we find another therapist that would be willing to do it?
Yes, of course, yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
okay. Anybody have any other questions? All right, does the department have any further witnesses to call today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, Ms. Kincaid, any witnesses to call today?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to call Miss Maldonado.
All right, Ms. Maldonado, if you can unmute for me and raise your right hand. All right, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell us the truth today?
Yes.
Okay, you'll need to speak up because it's pretty hard to hear you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Miss Maldonado, so far as you're aware, you've been complying with everything that St. Francis has asked of you. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you have attended the therapeutic visitations with Eduardo,
Yes.
and you would like to continue to have therapeutic visitations or any type of visitation with him. Is that correct?
Yes. You know, my
And
thing was when I had my very first visit with Eduardo, it went perfectly great. My second visit, when Richard Gatlin brought up the fact about why I have not talked to Eduardo about his father, and I told him the situation, I seen Eduardo's expression on his face. And ever since then, Eduardo doesn't want communication because he was hurt for the fact that his dad don't want anything to do with him. So why am I going to be how can I put it? Uh I mean, what how can I put this? I'm trying to think.
I'm not sure, but
Uh,
let me ask the next question. If
okay.
Mr. Gatlin is not able to or not willing to accommodate your therapeutic visits with Eduardo, would you like to have a different therapist to do
Yes.
that?
Yes,
Okay.
most definitely.
And right now, it's my understanding, is it your understanding that you have an order where you can't attend Eduardo's extracurricular activities or any type of contact with Eduardo? Is that right?
Yeah.
The mother's
And
testimony brings emotion into focus, but it also reveals the core problem. She identifies the exact moment things changed when Eduardo reacted to learning about his father. That moment didn't just hurt him, it reshaped the relationship.
And you have other family members in the community that are also involved in these extracurricular activities. So the result of that is you can't attend any extracurricular activities. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you would really like the ability to be able to watch your family and Eduardo whenever they're doing their school events. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So far as your relationship with
I
are you
don't
in a relationship with anybody right now?
I don't have a boyfriend right now. I mean, I am a single mother. I mean,
When is
period.
when is the last time that you were in a relationship with anybody?
Last time I was in a relationship was with David, and that was like back in August.
Okay, when did he move out of your home?
Like the middle of September.
Has he been back to your home?
No.
Do you have any intention of re-engaging in any type of relationship with him?
No, because David is married now. He lives in Irving. He is married to somebody else.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass witness.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Ms. Maldonado? Anybody else?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Judge, just one question. Ma'am, if Eduardo keeps this position of not wanting to return home to you, are you wanting the court and the department to force him to come back with you?
My thing is, when I have a seizure, Eduardo is the only one that knows how to control my seizures. So when I was told on the 23rd
Objection,
about
non-responsive.
what the situation
Sustained.
is,
Sustained.
Non-responsive. Yeah.
Yeah, sustained. So, all right, Mr. Shaw, why don't you ask your question again? Ms. Maldonado, just answer what he's asking.
Ms. Maldonado, I'm just trying to understand. We've got two different positions, and we're going in the opposite directions as far as what he wishes and what I understand that you're wanting him to be returned home to you. Is that correct?
yes.
And if he maintains his position of not wanting to come home, are you wanting the court and CPS to force him to come home?
Yes, I do.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody else have any questions for Ms. Maldonado? Okay, let me just, and then I want Ms. Maldonado to understand, this case is going to go to a final hearing on July 6th. Our dismissal date is July 18th. The truth of the matter is, we hardly have, I don't see how we have enough time to get another therapist contracted, engaged, establish the rapport they need with Eduardo before they would move into doing therapeutic visits with you. Because that all takes time. Eduardo needs to trust the therapist and have that level of trust with the therapist before we bring you back in. And we're just out of time. And that's why I'm pressing to find out, where do we go from here? And I just don't know that we can accomplish what you're asking, I guess, is the main point of what I'm saying. I don't know that we have enough time to do that at this point. Okay. Ms. Kincaid, do you have any additional witnesses?
I don't, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Shaw, any witnesses today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Sapien, any witnesses you want to call?
No witnesses, Judge. I do just want to join in Ms. Kincaid's motion for mediation.
Okay. All right. And Ms. Grant, do you have any witnesses to call today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then, Ms. Grant, do you have a recommendation to make?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd recommend that visits go ahead and be temporarily suspended due to the fact that there is an ongoing danger that the child will potentially run away or disengage further if we don't figure out a method by which we can address the visitation issues. I think a new therapist is in order to do that, to give perhaps Eduardo someone new to speak with about his feelings. But his current placement is safe and appropriate, and he's doing well there, making good grades. I think that the mother's recent engagement in her therapy will also assist in getting both of them to a place where they can re-engage in some structured visitation. But Eduardo does have concerns that he wants to be a kid, and and he does feel very responsible for his mother in some situations, and he loves his mother, but he's just wanting a little distance right now.
Now the case turns into a race against the clock, and the system knows it's losing. Introducing a new therapist sounds like a solution, but it's unrealistic. Trust takes months, and they don't have months. The judge openly acknowledges that limitation.
Okay, I don't know whether, Ms. Ramirez, you have any idea whether or not we could contract with a different therapist in this short amount of time? You have any feel for that?
Well, and Judge, if I can address that briefly, Eduardo has only been seeing Mr. Gatlin since the very end of December, so about going on 4 months now. We're 3 months out from final. It's taken this long for him to really get comfortable with Mr. Gatlin. And it's my understanding that Mr. Gatlin is not refusing to handle the therapeutic sessions, rather that Eduardo is refusing to participate in those sessions. And so if the court orders us that he has to physically be online for those virtual therapeutic sessions with his mother and with Mr. Gatlin, then obviously we'll facilitate that. But I don't know how productive that's going to be with a 15-and-a-half-year-old. I mean, he can just refuse to participate. That's the concern. And we certainly don't want to do anything else to alienate him further from his mother.
Okay, well, I can see, I can foresee, maybe some various outcomes at a final hearing that, there might be an outcome where we can continue to work with Mom and Eduardo, or perhaps, I don't know what placement situation is, if they had PMC of the child. I don't know whether, a private counselor would be a possibility if they've got any insurance to cover that or any assistance with that. So, it's a standing order of this court that y'all go to mediation. So we'll assign a mediator and get you all there. And maybe those are things that could be discussed and talked about. But my concern is between now and July 6th that, we just may not be able to accomplish what they're asking us to do. I understand sometimes fresh eyes on these things is a good thing, and if there's been a breakdown in trust or communication between the child and the therapist, and child and mom, then we're swimming upriver in a fast current. So I guess we can look into it, but I think mediation sooner rather than later is probably the best answer.
Judge, may I clarify one thing?
Sure.
I'm kind of suggesting almost like a custody evaluator type situation, not to remove Mr. Gatlin, but maybe more of a second opinion, second person who could talk to Eduardo, see if they get the same answer and the same kind of dug in feeling, or if maybe a different approach would bring a different answer from him, almost like a second opinion, really, but not to exclude Mr. Gatlin. Well, but I don't know that it would help. It was just kind of.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I mean, it's for if somebody's acting in that capacity as a therapist to the child, I think they can only have one at a time, so to speak, So,
I do foresee Eduardo coming around at some point. What I'm getting from it is he's just grown into a comfortable place in his current placement. And I think Eduardo feels that placement would be disruptive with the continued reunification. And so at mediation, we probably will need to focus on continued work and efforts with Mom and kind of just a way that there's more time to work forward, as the court suggested.
And Your Honor, if I may,
Sure.
The concern I have with any kind of progress that we're going to have is if we suspend any kind of visits, whether they're therapeutic or otherwise, we're not going to make any progress.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of suspending him, quite frankly, but neither can I make a 15-and-a-half-year-old participate. But here's between now and when y'all go to mediation or we finalize this, I'm going to leave the therapeutic visits in place. He may refuse to get on screen. He may refuse to participate once he's on screen. I guess the best thing to do is just try to explain to Eduardo that, the court thinks it's important that he have contact with his mother. Nobody's making a decision yet about whether he's going home or he's not, but that I would like for them to continue to work on their relationship. And that's all I'm asking him to do at this point. So I think that's all we can try. So I'll leave the therapeutic visits in place, but I just don't know how effective they'll be. Ms. Maldonado, we'll try. I mean, that's all we can do. Okay, I'll continue. The department is temporary managing conservator. I'm going to continue the child's current placement. And I'm going to find that there would be a continuing danger to the child to return the child home at this time based on the child's unwillingness to even participate in therapeutic visits. I'm very concerned about if we actually tried to place him at this point. Ms. Maldonado, it's important you continue to try to work on your own emotional and mental health. And during the time that we've got. All right, mom is in compliance with her service plan. Father is obviously not. All right, I will order you all to mediation no later than June 20th. And then I'll see you back for our final on July 6th of 2026. All right. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
The final decision locks everything into place, and it's all about stability. Therapeutic visits stay, not because they're working, but because removing them guarantees failure. It's a low-risk move. Keep the door open, even if no one walks through it. Then comes the key ruling, continuing danger. But notice the shift. This isn't about physical harm anymore. It's about emotional resistance and refusal to engage. That becomes enough to block reunification. The mother is compliant, but compliance isn't winning anymore. The child's mindset is. The system chooses control over risk, stability over reunification, and time over pressure. By the end, the direction is clear. The case is no longer building toward return. It's preparing for an outcome that protects what's already working.